Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is Bennett Tchaikovsky. I'm the chair of the accounting department here at Irvine Valley College. This is IVC 30 to CPA. This is our update for fall of 2024. My disclaimer and copyright notice: the information and opinions in this presentation are those of yours truly and not my employers or affiliated organizations, including but not limited to Irvine Valley College and the South Orange County Community College District. Presentation is for educational purposes only and does not constitute any legal or accounting advice whatsoever. So, what exactly is IVC 30 to CPA? Well, it's essentially what we call our accounting courses that we offer here at Irvine Valley. And it really refers more to the 200 series classes. We've been doing this since, so we've actually been doing it pre-2016, but we've been adding a significant amount of courses to our offerings, which I'm very excited to be sharing with you here today. We are one of the top ranked community colleges in the United States. We may not be perfect, but we strive to do so. And we're extremely fortunate to have many great accounting students come and take classes with us here at Irvine Valley. So just in terms of to become a CPA, if you need help in determining it, I've got a lot of different videos, a lot of different content. I'm going to leave up an email at the very end. If you would like me to go through and kind of assess where you are with regards to the educational requirement, I'm absolutely happy to go through and to do so. But let's kind of go through over here and talk about our different offerings. So by the way, if you do come to Irvine Valley, I do have a lot of resources. If you were to go through and type my name, Irvine Valley College, you can basically find me over here. This is my faculty website at IVC. There's a lot of different information that you can find here without being a part of IVC 30 to CPA. However, if you do come to IVC, if you register as a student at either IVC or Saddleback, we can put you into this group. Basically, what this group is it's a place where we go through and it's kind of a repository for recruiting information, sample resumes, links to meetings we've had with accounting firms. So we really try to go through and have tried to make this robust as possible. If you do join the group, even if you don't join the group, I will provide you with an individualized or a personalized Google Sheet so you can list out your courses and I can quickly go through and assess where you are with regards to the 150 semester unit requirement. But with that all being said, let's go through and take a look at our course offerings for this fall of 2024. So for Accounting 1A and Accounting 1B, these two courses here are really a prerequisite for many other classes. Now, if you're attending IVC and you've already taken financial or managerial, say at another place, what you're going to go through and do is you're going to go through, and I'll just pause real quick. I'll include a link to this below. So if you've taken financial or managerial accounting at another school, basically what we can do is we'll basically come over here and we'll basically say, okay, you just have to come through here and clear the prerequisite. If you've never taken financial or managerial accounting and you're interested in taking these classes, we by far have the most options available. We have fully in person, which is going to be about 4.5 hours a week. We've got online or hybrid, which is usually going to be about half of that time. We also have online with in-person testing. So again, if it's something that you're looking for, you want to take the class, again, we have a lot of different options. Really the same thing too with managerial accounting. Again, these are courses, but what makes the managerial and financial a little bit different than some of our other classes is we do require in-person testing. And this because it is, in fact, a transfer course. Our transfer reputation is extremely important to us here at Irvine Valley, and therefore the importance of us having these in-person tests, which are live proctored by the instructor. So that's kind of a little bit of a background behind Accounting 1A and Accounting 1B. But if you're going through and looking, say you want to take, if you want to take my financial statement analysis course, the prerequisite for it is going to be managerial accounting. If you took managerial accounting at another school, I'm going to include links on how to get this. But once you're a student, You basically submit a request to clear prerequisites. And then right over here, you'll basically go through prerequisite placement clearance, and you click on this and it'll go through and start up and walk you through. And of course, it always comes up with my information on this. And so you would basically put this up here. If it's for accounting, it's going to come through me, and I will try to get it through as quickly as I can, as long as it's reasonable. So that's really, and again, we try to make basically the whole, how do you become an IVC student? Again, I'll include links over here, but the steps to going through and becoming an IVC student, if you're a California resident, we're by far the best deal in town, basically at $46 a unit. So if I've never applied to be a student over here at IVC, basically it's applying for admission, 18 years or older, or a high school graduate. You go ahead and hit apply now. And again, our admissions office is great. They basically go through and will try to go through and help you as much as you can. The cost per unit is $46 a unit. There are health fees and other fees that are put on there. It's more for international, but still cheaper than a Cal State or a UC. So that's basically for accounting 1A and 1B. For one of the most important classes you can go through and take in terms of what employers are demanding in terms of skills are spreadsheets. And these are offered as accounting 112.1. It is also offered as accounting 112.2. These are spreadsheets 1 and 2. They have an in-person option as well as online. And then you also have the spreadsheets certification. So again, these are great courses. If you take these classes, they will count towards accounting subjects when you're going through and taking the exam. So let's go through the other classes. So our amazing professor, Lindy Tannenbaum, will be teaching accounting 202A for us. This is intermediate accounting. This is a class that will be taught online on Tuesday nights via live Zoom. Testing will also be done online via Proctorio or some other kind of testing portal. But if you've seen my other videos, when it comes to the CPA exam, this is definitely one of the classes you want to go through and take. My experience with this and talking to a lot of different students is that you should try to take this in an online, or excuse me, ideally, you would take this class in person. But I know that many of you are working many hours per week. So doing it online with Zoom is probably the closest thing you're going to go through and get to it. So that's intermediate accounting. I will also post a link of in terms of what classes you should go through and take. And let's go over here. Accounting 204 and Accounting 205. These are both taught by Professor Denise Wood. She's awesome. She's been teaching for us for many, many years. This is QuickBooks and payroll. One of the things here is for intermediate. The prerequisite is financial accounting, right? So we're going to be taught at a little bit of a different level. Over here, you've got basically accounting applications, QuickBooks, and payroll, accounting, and taxation. There's no prerequisites for either of these classes. So again, if you're looking to brush up on your basic QuickBooks skills, or you're looking to learn more about using it online, this can be a great way to do it. And these classes are offered fully online. Now over here, Stephen Grimberg is taught for us last semester. A few things about these classes is that if you were looking at the numbering and saying, dude, what's going on? So we did a little bit of renumbering. These were going to be offering some new courses in spring. So what we did is we took the old accounting 206, which was individual income taxation federal, and we changed it to accounting 206A. We took old 207 and it's now 207A. But we are offering a new class, which is tax practices and procedures. This is actually set up to kind of align with the enrolled agents exam, also with the new tax compliance and planning part of the CPA exam. If you're taking either of those parts, this can be great. We are extremely fortunate to have Professor Grimberg with us. He worked at the IRS for 30 plus years. The feedback I've seen him teach, he's absolutely incredible. I wish he would have been my tax instructor when I was taking tax courses back in the day. Uh, the way I've seen him teach using tax forms is absolutely brilliant. But again, this is what's different about these classes and this one, and also with the intermediate accounting, is that these are being taught with Zoom, right? So you're going to Zoom in from 7 to 9:50. I promise he's going to make tax probably the most entertaining thing around. And again, this is basically how basically these courses will be happening on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday nights from 7 to 9:50 p.m. And there you go. Our next class is being taught by one of our new instructors, Professor Byrne. This is bookkeeping and general accounting. For this class, it starts late. It's a second 8-week class. It's a 3-unit class. There are 3 exams set up. The class is fully online, and you'll basically be going through and submitting homework online. And that's how this course is going through and being set up. Accounting 220, this is taught by yours truly. Accounting ethics, I've been teaching this class since fall of 2016. I'm always trying to find ways, new ways to make the class more engaging, to make accounting great again. It's my little plug here. Don't have a red hat, but we're trying to make accounting great again. One of the things I have been doing for this class, I would typically do a project whereby students would, basically on an ethical topic that interests them. Instead, what I've done is I've gone to the Securities and Exchange Commission's website, and what I go through and do is find CPAs that have had their licenses suspended or they got in trouble with the SEC, and you'll end up going through and doing kind of a report on that in addition to the other parts of the class. The other new class that's being offered is Accounting 261. This is financial statement analysis. This is going to be something where you'll be choosing 2 publicly traded companies. And this is a new course that I'll be going through and teaching. There's no textbook cost for this class. I have the book that's basically online. You'll basically be going through and analyzing 2 publicly traded companies. Your final project will basically be a video comparing the 2. So it should be a fun class. I've been teaching, my classes have had a component of financial statement analysis when I was been teaching Accounting 1B honors. I've been doing it for quite some time. So it's going to be exciting teaching a course that's fully dedicated to that. And last but not least, our professor, Don Bradshaw, is going to be teaching Accounting 275A, or auditing internal controls under SOX. So just to kind of point out in terms of the new formatting of the CPA exam. So if I go through and look at the new format for the CPA exam, there is a section, I think it's called, I always get this wrong, but I think it's internal systems and controls. Let's go through and see this right over here. Mhm. Mhm. So this is UWorld. They do a great job. I just went into the wrong module. I'm going over here. Let's just do this real quick. Information systems and control. So the one thing I have heard back from students who have taken this class, and it's only offered in person, and I completely understand why Don wants to do that, is that basically when you're going through and doing something like this, is that my students who have taken him, and he taught this on a class, I think it was last summer, but the students who later take on other internal controls classes at Fullerton or at other places, or they're taking the CPA exam, I've heard nothing but the absolute best of things, that they were over prepared for those other classes, that this gave them such a phenomenal base. One of our students who took Don's class took something similar over at Fullerton. The guy said it was like I want to say it was a repeat, but he did very, very well in that Cal State Fullerton class, mainly thanks to this part over here. So if you are going through and considering, and you're going through and considering taking this ISC part, or if you're looking to get a better kind of a brush up in terms of the auditing portion of the CPA exam, this is going to be a great class to go through and to take. Note that this is going to be the other part of this is obviously the auditing class, which is the auditing portion of the CPA exam. One other thing, just to kind of share with you the TCP, and so when we look at TCP, this is tax compliance and planning. When we go through and look at the TCP part of this, we kind of go through over here and we're looking at basically different parts of the exam. Okay. So tax compliance and planning, you see a lot of different parts that are over here. So this is definitely one of the more bigger parts in terms of the exam. So obviously our classes will help give you a background, but prior to going through and taking this part of, if you chose to do this as an individual discipline, can go through and help you with that. Just one thing really quickly though, before I go any further, when it comes to the new format for the CPA exam, you have to take auditing, you have to take FAR, you have to take regulation. You have an option of choosing between TCP, ISC, or BAR, but once you make your choice, you cannot go back. So a lot of my students will go through and take BAR just because I think that that's probably aligns closest academically, but that does not mean you could not go through and take either ISC or TCP. But again, just when you make that choice, make sure, again, when you're listening to me here, I'm sharing with you my opinion. It's my opinion. Make sure you're going through though and doing your full research. So those are the fall 2024 offerings, right? So it should be a great upcoming semester. One of the things is that if you do enroll at IVC, you put yourself in the IVC 30 to CPA group, and you want one of these classes that happens to get full, I can definitely work with you. Just the sooner you register as a student, the better off you're going to have in terms of getting the classes and everything else. Also, if you enroll early, it helps us mainly because in terms of going through and basically in terms of going through, and if we need to add more people to a section or add an additional section, by you registering early, that truly helps us. And I'm going to just do something really quickly before we leave. So for spring of 25, what we have planning in terms of what we're planning on offering is we're always going to offer accounting 1A, 1B, 1B honors, 112.1, 112.2, 112.3, which are the spreadsheet courses, QuickBooks, basically QuickBooks, payroll tax, ethics, and then the individual and business tax courses. But in spring 25, we are going to be offering the second semester of intermediate, be taught by Professor Bradshaw in person. Then we're going to have two brand new tax courses. And these are going to be individual taxation with additional topics, business taxation with additional topics. And again, this is kind of to align with both the tax compliance and planning parts of the CPA exam, as well as the enrolled agents examination. I will be teaching a brand new class called External Financial Reporting and Corporate Social Responsibility. I'm looking forward to teaching that class. And then Professor Bowden will be teaching auditing financial statements for us in spring. So that's kind of tentatively what we're going to go through and be offering in spring. If there's something else that you'd like to see being offered, you're always free to welcome to go through and reach out to us. So coming right over here, how do we join IVC 30 to CPA? Is that once you're a student at IVC, you just send us an email. We will add you to it. There's no cost to join if you're within our district, which means you're at either Saddleback or at IVC. You'll then be added to the Canvas shell. As far as the benefits of joining the group, we've been going through, and as I look at this, we've kind of done all of this and kind of more. We've had a lot of different Zoom calls. We did about 17 last year. So again, it's very exciting. So I want to thank all of you. We wouldn't be able to offer these courses if it were not for you. So we really thank you for all of your support. If you have any feedback for us, please feel free to send it to me at ivc30tocpa@gmail.com. And we look forward to seeing you in future classes here at Irvine Valley College. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Have a great day.